Hey guys, welcome. I guess you can tell from my voice that it's been a long weekend, but I have a commitment. So with the strength of my voice, I want to make sure I do these live sessions. I guess I won't stay in for that long, but I'm going to do them. All right. So, like the title of this meeting, our little gathering together, I wanted to go through exactly what is the dollar doing. Now, what's important is one of the important signatures that I spoke about in the game plan video. If you haven't watched that video, please go and check it out. In that video, we're looking at the dollar, and I told you that the price is approaching a very key area of supply. We had an algorithmically engineered trend line here with a small break of bullish liquidity near the end of the day. And as you can see, price has taken the high. And remember, the key I told you guys was if the price takes the high of the previous week, the wick of the candle, then we're most likely going to have a reversal back down to here, which is what we need. And so price has done that. So at the moment, we're in the perfect position to start looking for shorts. Now, as I've drawn here, negative dollar strength, meaning that the dollar index loses value or the price goes down. And then positive dollar strength means the value is going up. Now, this is a induction that we have on the north side of the market, and the price should be pulling back down to here over the next coming. Now, for me, I expect this to happen most likely quite quickly, to at least come back down to here. Once we get there, that will be the launching pad for the longs that we've been looking for. So bearing that in mind, okay, let's have a look at all of the other pairs. I'm going to go to the trading account here. It's still a live account. I did a few withdrawals myself, okay, from the profits that were made. And I'm just going to go through what we have now. In terms of order of priority, USD CHF is probably one of the greatest trades that's about to happen. Okay, if we look at what we have over here, price has entered into this supply zone, which is key. We have the prices, it looks very almost the same as the dollar index, okay, because when the dollar gains strength, USD CHF would go long, and when the dollar loses strength, USD CHF will go short. Now, what we've had here is typical. We've had an induction of the previous month or weekly high into this very strong area of supply, okay? So if we go down to the daily time frame, what the market's actually done is taken the high of the previous month. So this is a very powerful signature to start to look for a short. Now, even with the H4, not really the time frame I used to enter, we have a very clear supply zone that we can work with. Now, in order for us to get the return here, now entries, guys, I would suggest to look for entries from here. But from the H4, there are no swing lows that have been taken just yet. We need a body close beneath a swing low. The first swing low is here. So until we get to here now, funny enough, if we were to map the price as to where this is, this day, which is the week starting the 10th of February, we have a supply zone here. The price is broken above, but we have a return, but we need a body close within here. So I'm expecting a little bit more shorting from USD CHF. Hopefully the body of the candle should close beneath here. And then from that point, when we get that signature, we should be looking for the price to give us this kind of price action here. And then we should be looking for the short. Now, the targets are around this range over here. The price may even push slightly lower because we have a liquidity pool over here. So what my expectation is the price to pull back somewhere around this range. Once the price gets here, this will be the entry for the full long that we're looking for. But this is the target here, specifically here, around this range. Okay, I'll just leave it here for now, but I'm sure the price will overshoot a little bit more. Let me delete that. I'll just leave it like this for now, but I'm sure the wick of the candle will overshoot down here somewhere. But nonetheless, this is what I'm expecting with USD CHF. But we need a break of market structure, okay? So need break of H4 swing low. Okay, market structure break. So let's just set that on. Now, excuse me, I hope you guys can still hear me with my voice. I know that my voice is a little bit funny, but just make sure that you can hear me. As I said, I have a commitment to make sure that I keep it consistent. So we need this H4 market structure break over here. And then on the return, we should be looking for the price to return back up long. Okay. Now, bearing that in mind, what I expect the price to do would be for us to get the price action short here, hopefully by Wednesday. Okay, so that's trade number one. All right. Now, I'll probably go down to the hourly afterwards, but I just want us to get through this first. Now, the second trade is going to be NZDUSD. NZDUSD is finally dropped into this demand zone and giving us inductions that we need for a long. Okay, on the H4, what's actually happened is that the price has taken the weekly low. And what we need now is just breaks in market structure. So on the H1, if I use that, the nearest swing high is over here. Now, in terms of the market structure, that may not be good enough to really say we're going for a long, even though we know we are. But maybe the price taking the high of a this is Thursday's high, Friday's high. That would be a bit more convincing. And also it will give us a H4 market structure break. So I'm hoping for one more long before we get a pullback here. And then we can discuss when we should be looking for the timing of the news. Okay, so really this is NZDUSD. Now this is kind of like a pre-game plan to prepare yourself. And on Thursday, when I come back live, again, we can look at, by then probably entries will be starting to build up. All right, so AUDUSD, if I go over here, I'm going to drag this along. So with AUDUSD is another fantastic opportunity. So whilst I'm talking, I'll do a recap. So USD-CHF is probably my favorite trade out of all. Is mirroring the dollar index almost 100% to this. The slight variation will be because of the Swiss franc. But we can see Australian dollar, US dollar is also giving us an induction here. And on the daily, and then on the H4, you can see what's going on. If I use the weekly, you can see that on the weekly, the price has done a weekly induction south into demand. It's the perfect signature we need to look for a long. So what I'm hoping for is with AUDUSD, we may, as I was saying to my students this afternoon, the price has already returned here and is looking to go long. But I am hoping that it will return one more time. I mean, it is a market structure break in a sense and is probably going to remain that way. But ideally, if we could get another market structure break. So for example, here, if price was brave enough or nice enough to allow us to come back up to here and then return, that would be great. Now, in order for that kind of action to happen, we're going to need some sort of news piece, which is what I'm going to do right over here. So if we had this kind of structure break here, I would say we should go for it. Now, as I said again to my academy students, I'm telling you all, I do think there will be some sort of return. There are slight deviations between pairs. Like, for example, pound USD is taken up quite strongly, but that's due to the Brexit deal. We'll take a look at that in a moment. But USD-CHF is not completely ready, I don't think, to pull back here. And even if it pulled back from here, if it returns back here, that means the dollar is gaining strength in a sense. So the Australian dollar should be pulling back, and all the other kind of pairs like this should be pulling back one more time. So my suggestion is let me put this here. My suggestion is that to watch out for these kind of pullbacks over here of such. Okay. So we're going to wait and see what the market does with these movements that we're waiting for. But we are in the section where we should be waiting to see what happens with the price action. All right. Euro NZD, Euro USD. Same scenario. Euro USD is taking off a little bit more quickly. And I do believe it's because the euro does have some strength behind it. But Euro USD has also done the exact same signature here. As it looks a little bit more on the weekly. Looks like the price is moving from nowhere, but we have a support on here, key one that pushed the price down for quite a while. And price has broken above it and returned to the other side. So this reaction in the wicks here is valid because the price is inside of the fleet supply zone, which means it's in demand. So on the daily and then on the H4, you can see we've had a very good induction here, very quick and fast. Let me just delete this here. Very quick induction over here. Let's just straighten this out a little bit for you guys. Yep, and then from here, H1, you can see what we've had over here. So now the price has actually broken market structure already, and Euro USD really just needs one more pullback. So if you want to take a screenshot, you can. We just need the price to pull back down here. Once it does such a movement like that into this area of demand, we should all be looking to go for a long. That should take us back to the major induction that Euro USD done, which was back up here. We need price to reach back up here, which is about I would say 347 pips away. Okay, so we do have a long way to go on the long side, but we do need the price to pull back on the short side. Now it's very obvious we are going to pull back. We have a liquidity down here, and we have also a liquidity gap not too far away. So sooner or later the price is going to return. And my suggestions is simple entries even from here. Stop loss beneath 26 pips is not that bad. I mean, ideally, I would have liked an entry either here or even at the bottom, but entry over here wouldn't be so bad too. That's 12.5 pips, and then the rest is history. Okay, so these are my top pairs from. Now with the other major pairs, because that's what I wanted to focus on, you can see we're starting to have small reactions going on USD JPY. USD JPY has been a bit of a interesting one. Okay, but now it's finally taken the high of the previous week and is inside of supply. We can actually start to make, assumptions as to what to do. USD JPY is playing a little bit more hard to get, but the price should be pushing short soon. Okay, on the H4, it doesn't look like the prettiest chart. But remember, even though the wick of the candle might have not taken the high, if we have a strong market structure break, especially in this case on the H4, if there's a market structure break beneath the beginning of this bullish push in price here, so body of candle closes here, even if it doesn't take the lows, it is a strong market structure break. Now, ideally, I would like it to be a little bit lower, but that will cost a lot of pips. And of course, pips cost money, as I've told you before. But something like this is what I'm expecting USD JPY to do. But we're just going to have to kind of stick it out and wait for the price to give us the green light. Same as USD CAD. USD CAD out of all the pairs is my least favorite because the signature on it is not as nice at all. I mean, if I go to the weekly or even the monthly here, there's not much suggestive activity for where the price is going to pull back on. And as I told you, when it comes to USD CAD, it's called the loonie for a reason because it has quite a lot of deviations at times from other major pairs, and that's just because of the relationship that the Canadian dollar has to oil. So it causes the price action to not kind of line up sometimes or correlate with other major pairs. Okay, I'm sure short will come along. My idea right now is that most likely maybe the price will take the high of the week and then start to pull back, especially because we have things like equal lows over here, and quite a pool of lows hanging around the same area. So the USD CAD, in that sense, could very easily just give us something like this where the price takes the high, and then from the high area here, it pushes down for a short. Okay, this is really what I'm looking for. Okay, so this is the structural ideas that I have for all of the major pairs, and I hope you watch this back over. Now, unfortunately, with my voice, I'm trying to control it and not stay on for too long, but I hope you really understand the structure of what we're looking for. There are great opportunities coming along, and really this is where my focus is when it comes to the dollar. We have this last short to take, and then after we're going for a very strong inflation-driven long, okay? So one of the things I will do, as I promised, is to go through the news. So I'm going to quickly switch over and grab the news. Give me a second. All right, guys, I had to go mute because my throat is still a little bit funny. But anyway, let's have a look at what we've got. So I'm going to pull up the news for the week so that we can map out what we're looking for. Just go for this week. So today is Tuesday. We've had the GDP information for Canada and the Swiss franc. Both came at 0%. So no change in interest rate, in GDP, which is bad. Now, more importantly, into Wednesday, we have Australian dollar news, which is the GDP, and could end up being something that becomes a trigger for AUD/USD to go long and give us deeper market structure breaks. All right, now the important news pieces are here. So at 3 o'clock, we have the PMI. We're not too sure what the PMI is, the Purchasing Managers Index. It lets you know how business is going in terms of business activities expanding. If it's above 50, business activity is expanding in the manufacturing sector in the US. If it's below 50, is the opposite. So at the moment, this news is showing up as negative. Surprise, surprise. And if it is negative or worse than expected and worse than the previous, that can help to push the dollar down. So my thoughts is if the price gives us the returns back to the entry, for example, for USD CHF, before this news happens, then, well, that would be perfect for us because we can use this news as the push to give us the short. On the other hand, if the value is better than expected, it will push the dollar price up, and that could be used as the return back for our entries. So this will be a great piece of news to work with. Now, I think PMI is less spoken about by traders because I think it's probably one of the least understood pieces of news. Okay, everybody else, I guess most of the time focus on interest rate, NFPs and stuff like that. But I can understand. Right, on Thursday, we still have a few pieces of medium impact news. And just to note, the non-farm payroll is, as I went on through on Friday, is not this week. Even though it's the first Friday of the month, I think because how I'm doing the calculation is because this week has started with the end of February, and then the new month starts within this same week. We're starting March within the same week. I do think that the next Friday of the month will be counted as the first Friday of the month. And that's why maybe we don't have the NFPs this Friday, because that would have been a great benefit. But it happens next week instead. Okay. So on Friday, we do have a piece of news, which is the ISM PMI. So ISM is the Institute of Supply Management, and it also checks the Purchasing Managers Index as well. Now, since we have two of the same kind of views on the economy, if one is increasing in value, then most likely this one will be the same. Okay. And if the other one is negative, probably this might be worse off. So we can use both of those to be able to work out what is going on. Okay. So between now and Friday, we have a range of high impact news that can cause the volatility we need, and we can plan our time around it. So I'm looking to see what the market does between now up to 3 o'clock tomorrow. And then again, we'll be looking at what happens Thursday and Friday up to 3 o'clock, because we may end up getting our entries on Friday and we might have to swing. We'll see the weekend. Not something I like to do always, but if it has to happen, it has to happen. So really, this is the simple breakdown of what the dollar is doing. I hope this gives you ample information to work with. And I'll catch you guys on the next video. Everybody take